easy to fix too.
Well, I mean, besides resetting the MAC address? You said it was easy to fix?
Well, you can fix it pretty easily.
Oh yeah, it's a ridiculously easy fix. It's just reset the MAC address.
It's the defsec_MySQL.
Defsec_MySQL, yeah. I wanted to get. I've never had anybody who actually argued the point that it was MySQL versus MySQL, but no one cares. Let's see if we go GIF and GIF, it's a flame war.
There's one of those is right, the other's very.
I know. GIF is right, GIF is terrible.
Exactly.
That's
Okay.
wrong.
Thank you.
Shut up. Okay. Tell me when you guys have it all pulled down and powered on and working ideally. Come on, Nick, pull it down faster. Follow along. I'm gonna do something. What?
I am following it.
You're not pulling it down?
I am following
Okay. I don't know where people are at. Just make the make. So the real question is, like, Eric's super concerned about storage space. Are we gonna have, like, a week from now the IA lab just crashes and burns in a flaming pile? You don't think so?
I hope so.
It seemed like Eric was starting to get pretty concerned if he's asking DefSec to stop suspending their VMs.
Well, I think like every week we push out like 20 or 30.
No, this is
They don't
because of the recent issue.
well, yeah, but I mean like they don't get deleted by.
So
Like,
that's his
their
fault.
base
Like, he should be setting a storage lease of like an hour, and then it would just delete themselves.
I don't know if you want to do that.
What?
I don't think you want to do that aggressive.
Why
Should
not?
be shorter than that.
They can reset their own leases.
So we just
So she's gonna.
What? We just need to just add this to whatever script he's using. I don't know if we even have a custom script now. Are we pulled down and powered on? Creating still.
Yeah. What's the I
So what are the machines in the app? Because I apparently have it already. It won't let me add it again.
Just name it something different.
I did.
That shouldn't be a problem. Never seen that one before.
Is that there?
There's client, MySQL,
Yeah.
and then tools.
But it should let you add it. You just have to name it something different, like not exactly the same thing. That makes sure you're okay. Or just delete your other one. You don't need your other one. Really, the only changes I made is I added more users. I added users to the web servers. I reinstalled Magento because last time I did a bad job of it. Last time it was a Magento server that had no user accounts on it. So that wouldn't have been fun. Yeah, because I wiped the database, and when it recreates the database, it doesn't run you through the installer again. Yeah. Yeah?
So for the micromac tomorrow, I was creating a Fedora image in VMware.
Yeah.
And I wanted to push it on the IA lab, but it looks like I need some special software to actually push the OVF file.
You need the VMware client whatever plugin?
Yep.
Yeah, so you should be able to download that and install it. It has a button, and it doesn't work. Okay. Firefox extended support release, I think should still work. 32-bit, that should still work probably. Or no, just do it in the HTML5. Have you tried it in the HTML5?
No, I haven't.
The HTML5 shouldn't mandate the plugin. It never has for me. Keep in mind you're uploading 30 gigs to the or I don't know how many gigs to the IA lab. Should be 2. Well,
It's pretty lightweight.
what's the actual disk size though? Because I'm assuming
What's probably dynamic?
The disk was
it should be dynamic. I don't know. Have you ever had issues with it trying to upload 30 gigs of zeros?
I think it's 15 gigs,
That's,
which
What?
is a little much.
yeah.
It's just gonna take a long time. But I mean, as far as browsers go for stability, it's probably not going to be a good time if the browser decides I'm going to crash now and your upload's lost and whatever. So. But yeah, that you can use HTML5. Otherwise, Chrome might work. If not, Firefox ESR 32-bit is what we've had to use in the past for that. So.
Okay, and then how do you get rid of the VMware files that are in there, or any special configuration? Because even looking in the logs, I see VMware all over the place.
VMware Tools.
Might have been, yeah.
VMware Tools is okay. The hardware version might be incorrect and it'll just do nothing, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Half the VMs we're going to be like we'd use throughout DefSec and whatever, we're going to have VMware Tools on there somewhere. It shouldn't be a big deal. I don't think I've ever encountered any real issues with VMware tools.
I'm powered on.
Okay,
Power.
give us another second.
Because I was trying to install that client, and Python is not, it's just crashing because I don't have a method dependency. Some kind of database, I don't know what it uses for a database.
So wait, say that again, you're trying to install Python from...
Sorry, the script to install the plugin needs Python. And Python is complaining because I have an unmet dependency of which I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the database. And I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, that's on your local system?
So, here. So if I run the script.
This is just general.
This is,
Yeah,
So
so
no,
failed, what do you want to say?
Down to the bottom. See Python is complaining, and I was looking through these files, and the code somewhere here is about databases, you can see.
That should require, wait, what do you mean it should require? Yeah, db.car. Ooh, okay, so what are you trying to write? Yeah, no, you're not incorrect. So it's trying to, oh, it has a database. What is it using though? No idea. It's using SQLite probably, or it have to use it. Well, it's whiny because it actually can use, it's not actually different. There is a table in whatever SQLite database it's using that does not exist, that it's trying to access. We'll look at that afterwards.
If I can just bypass the scripts that
With HTML5, you should be able to, yeah. It shouldn't be a deal, but yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go into this one. Okay, so I'm assuming we're all good to go now? So first of all, training, Google Drive. You guys are going to want to, go to training, go to Nix, go to checklists, application checklists, database checklists, and then this one here, MySQL Web App Pass Change. It's going to be the main one we're going to go through. Just use it as a reference. I sure am. It's not going to be exact. It's just general stuff. Okay. What's pass change?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be talking about today for the most part. It's part of the MySQL box.
It's not.
What?
Past changes.
Well, what do you mean by pass change? Pass change is just like,
Just a word.
yeah. And okay, that's the concept. So and just to give you guys some background information on slides or anything. In general, we have web applications, right? Web applications are going to store their passwords in normally a MySQL database or Postgres or whatever else they're going to be using. There's kind of a reason why this is good and also a reason why it's terrible. It's good because they don't normally provide any functionality for mass password changes in the web GUIs. So if you have WordPress or Magento or whatever else, there's probably not a easy way to go in there and, I would like to change 350 user accounts password to password whatever. You normally don't functionality for that. Nick can correct me if he knows all the web application. Yeah, that's kind of the whole reason we came up with this. So we can't change it in the GUIs, or we can't change it effectively. If we want to change it manually, we have to go in and punch user account, edit password change, and doing that for 300 user accounts is kind of unachievable during the course of a competition. So this is basically the fast way of changing their passwords is by going to the database and generating new password hashes for them. The reason why this is bad, or the reason why this sucks, is because web applications don't, or they might be getting to the point eventually, but right now they don't really standardize what hashing algorithms they use. That means we have to deal with multiple different hashing algorithms, and because we're normally dealing with outdated applications in CCDC, it is all over the place. We kind of have one main method that kind of works, and that's what we're going to be going over today. we'll see how this goes. It's just really not a fun ride. We're also just going to go over a lot more general MySQL stuff. Since I have time to, I'll be here as long as you guys want to. Just going over MySQL stuff. I still don't know like what backgrounds you guys have, but let's begin. So MySQL, this is our main MySQL server. Let's log in. Oh no, bad. Go away. Don't you guys love it when they do that? Yeah, just edit. Well, you have to like write out some jQuery, I think. Okay, so this is our box. Just to give you guys kind of an idea of what the current structure is, we can do MySQL-P. And if at any point you guys fall behind or something, please tell me. So if you notice here, we once again 5 databases. 2 we don't really care about. One's the MySQL database, and then we have Magento and WordPress. So for DB guys, that's basically how we can tell very quickly what are we dealing with. It should almost always be. I can never think of a case where you're not going to have one database per web application that's attached to you. It might be a little bit quicker figuring out what's going on this side versus the other side of having everybody log into their own web applications and look and see which database they're using, which they're still probably going to have to do. In fact, they will have to do. But this might be a little bit quicker. For our cases, we're going to start with WordPress, which is the easiest one. So use WordPress, just changes our context. And then we're going to start looking here. If you guys have that list, it'll already probably tell you, but just to have an idea, if we don't have down there at the very bottom, I actually don't know if I have it up or not. Yeah, so down here at the this is a nice checklist. Nick made it, which pretty much goes for all of our checklists. They're all nice, and Nick made them all. We kind of have a giant table of basically user tables, password fields, and hash types. This is for a couple that we encountered frequently. That's not always the case. So you might get a web application that is, I don't even know, not on the table, weird. So we're just going to kind of talk about looking at tables and seeing how stuff goes. So we go back here. So we have these. So WordPress is easy. Guess which one is the user table? Yeah, it's not hard. So users is our table, and then just kind of get a better idea. We also need to figure out the name of the password field. So we do that, which gives us an idea. So once again, which one's the password? User underscore pass. And this is something you're probably going to have to do if you don't know the type of the password hash, because you're literally going to have to go in here, select it from WP underscore users like that. And then we just basically dumped all the password hashes for all of our user accounts. So now tell me, which hash is that? Yeah?
MD5.
No.
It goes to the PH.
It's PHP pass. It's a good guess, though.
Sometimes.
What?
MD5 works in Mac.
It depends.
It depends on the web application. What do you mean?
So like an old version of
Yeah.
WordPress will allow you to use MD5.
And it's configurable. I wasn't going to go over that. I don't remember where the settings are at for WordPress. And do you remember the settings off the top of your head? We can take a detour over there or not?
To like change user passwords?
Change hashing algorithm.
Oh, that I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know there's a PHP file that does the hashing. That's somewhere in
You mean the actual PSP? Yeah, you go modify the PHP source. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Yeah.
One thing I tried early on was writing a script in PHP which would load that PHP file for whatever web app you're using.
That doesn't
You have
work?
to find it.
Oh,
It
okay.
works, but you have to find it. And you have to figure out how it actually does its thing.
Yeah, that'd be painful. That'd be unfortunate. So yeah, unless the point is, it's going to be probably too problematic to change the hashes. In general, we normally don't. So it basically boils down to why would we want to change the hashing algorithm to something more secure? So if people get our hashes, they take longer to break, right? How are they going to get our? Well, no, I guess there is multiple ways for them to get our password hashes. But in general, how long is it? It's going to take Red Team a minute to break any hashes they do get. I mean, this is a PHP pass. I don't know how long it takes to break PHP pass, but
It's SHA-1 under
it's SHA. So it's going to take a. It's not going to happen. Is what it boils down to. I don't know how long, Nick. How long does it take to break SHA-1? Yeah. I mean, it's going to take forever. So we don't only care about securing this. I don't know how long does it take to generate MD5 hashes. Use dictionary technique against MD5 hashes. It's still going to take forever.
Yep.
So it's a non-issue. We don't need to upgrade the hashing algorithms. We don't really care about that. We just want to change the passwords. So, and Nick can correct me if I'm wrong, that $P at the very start represents its PHP pass. And it's going to be different. I have a list.
That's the identifier.
Yeah, that's the identifier. I have a list somewhere in the Google Drive that has just like 30 or 40 like examples of what hashes look like. I don't know, I'll probably post it in Slack after this if I have to find it again. I took that to nationals. I don't think we used it because we didn't change web application passwords because we had bigger problems. But that's the idea. So the point is, we know this is PHP pass, which you could already tell if you guys look down the sheet, the little table, and it's WordPress, it's 3.5x plus, and it's PHP pass. So we know it's PHP pass. We just have to generate more hashes for it. So first things first, let's actually leave MySQL because we have to do this elsewhere. As far as I'm aware, Linux, but by default, doesn't have any way of generating PHP pass hashes. Joy, I'm going to have that issue now. So here's the real question, Nick. Okay. You guys are going to have to auth the captive portal for this. There's a file called captive in the root directory. Punch in your username and password. So just run after the shell. I need to unduplicate my screen.
You don't trust your scripts?
Oh crap, not. You realize I'm still streaming my screen right now, aren't I?
Yeah.
Am I? Am I still streaming it?
No.
No, the display's gone?
It's fine.
Okay, that's good because I use LastPass, so I have to copy and paste it. So I you know, as much as I want everyone to know my password for the DSU network, I don't. Normally I would have pre-authed it, but I forgot.
Pretty good.
Yeah, intentionally. It's coming back.
Oh, okay, so that was me. Good.
Hopefully I didn't mess that up.
Looks good.
Well, it's not giving me off.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, I know what it is.
Can't copy paste. Yeah.
Correction, you can't copy and paste. Oh, wow. Thanks, Windows. That's really what I wanted out of life. No, the correction is you can't copy and paste. I can. Except I can't because I'm on Windows now, Nick.
All right.
Yeah, so I didn't move that over. So excuse me while I type this in manually. No, we've developed copy and paste scripts. We just don't give them to you. You can't be trusted.
Makes sense.
It's too much power. It's actually because we don't want you copy and pasting stuff in the mock competitions. So,
It's a good reason.
for the moment, I'm actually. So what I was thinking, Nick, is we could actually, at very least, host it somewhere else, obfuscate the crap out of it, and then disable it during the competition. So we'd host it externally, it would get imported in, and then
Couldn't they just download it?
they could download it, but they still have to. Oh, never mind, you're right. They could do that.
Unless we
We'd have to add extra stuff in there, yeah. We'd have to make it really difficult, but even then, somebody would break it, right?
Yeah.
As long as Cody doesn't come back in here and yell at me. I'm assuming you guys all got user authenticated for Captive Portal script? Okay. If you didn't, you did it wrong or something. I don't know. Okay. Apt update for starters. So basically what we're going to do, the thing we're going to use to generate PHP pass hashes is a module called hashlib. To even get that, you could do it probably with Python 2. For my sake, we're just going to do it with Python 3. The actual real reason I'm going to do it with Python 3 is because Python 3 is not installed. So it's a clean install of Python, and it's not broken and janky. And that's really what's prevented us from doing this on competitions most of the time, is it's like, oh, Python, the versions of Python we have, like they don't have pip, or pip's broken, or our repos are broken, or everything's broken. So it kind of makes it a pain to just get the one module we need to generate hashes most of the time. We also, I don't think we normally just didn't put that much effort into it. There's stuff you can do. If you can't get it on one system for whatever reason, you could theoretically generate the hashes on another system and then move them over, which takes more time and it's more insecure because if someone's in the other system, now they get the hashes and whatever else. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. Well, they still have to decrypt them though. Never mind. You're still pretty much good. They could. Yeah, actually, you're pretty good. Never mind. That's not really an issue. Yeah, because they can get your hashes. I don't think it matters. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you're actually fine no matter what. So feel free to generate them on other systems and move them over later using SFTP or something. And now we're just gonna basically write the equivalent to a quick Python script and generate the hashes we need for PHP paths for WordPress, and then we're just gonna shove those in. Do I have the correct sheet? I actually don't know if I do. Oh, did I seriously get one that's not like... Okay, well that sucks. Okay, I'm going off memory. So, because we're going to do this the bad way, let's just start a Python 3 interpreter. Normally you can do a script.
Did you do the pip install?
Oh, you're right, I didn't. So that's pretty dang worthless, isn't it? But I checked, so I know it'll work. So yeah, we need hashlib. So that's all that line is. Python 3-m pip install hashlib. Hashlib? Oh, it's hashlib, isn't it? Oh, does it seriously? I might have been using a different library. I'm not even kidding.
Because hashlib just does regular hashing.
What does passlib do?
Password hashing.
I think mine worked though. Ironically, I might have figured out a different way to do it.
That's interesting.
Oh.
Hashlib is usually installed by default.
Hashlib?
Yeah.
Maybe I did use passlib. We'll check here. We'll figure this out. Oh, joy. I must have used passlib then. I hope I did. No, I did use passlib. Okay. I just literally forgot which module I used. So in this case, we're just going to do from passlib import PHP paths. Okay. Did I literally do it the other way? I wonder if that actually works now. I'm going to actually check. No. Wow, that'll put problems. Am I mistyping that, Nick, or is that literally right?
From passlib.hash.
See, that's going to be interesting because I didn't passlib.hash. So you're saying that works. Ironically, I somehow managed to do it some way else and it worked, and I don't know how now. Ironically, I deleted the VApps, so there's no way of ever knowing. Because see, I don't know if that's going to work now, because which PHP pass? Does php.hash actually work? Is the real question, though?
Yeah.
Oh, it does? Okay, we're good then. So I'm assuming it works because Nick told me it works, so I'm just going to trust him. We're just going to write it to a file. Just like that. Let's open that. Gosh dang it. See, it's just not my day, Nick. I can't do Python. I can't do anything. I did it again. Okay, so I did that when I was testing it too, though. Wrong order. This is how people break systems by accident. There we go. Okay. So I'm just trusting this all to work without verifying anything. Okay. That'd be whatever you're going to set. So, I don't know. That should work, shouldn't it? Yeah. Choose a password.
Give up on the
What? What did I give? I never did with? No. Stop telling me your lies.
Use with.
No.
Closes the file.
What happens if I just don't care? I already know it. It didn't need to buffer, so. Everybody there? Assuming you know I did it right? But so are we at this point now, is the real question. Okay, how far behind are you?
Well, I didn't have Python 3, so I had to install that.
Yeah, we installed that.
I don't know if I'm just missing something from there, but let's see.
So basically what this should have gotten us is a one PHP pass hash of cat123. Did you?
Let's try to follow along.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay, so you need to exit out that quick.
Well, back down here, so.
Okay, so you need to install Python 3-pip. From apt, yeah. Yep, the word Python 3 dash. So do that, and then you're going to have to do Python 3-m pip install PHP path, or not PHP path, passlib, and then all that should work. So we'll wait a second. Got up to date? Exit should be fine. Okay, we're there. So I guess I'll give it a minute. But so we basically have our PHP hash. So and this actually went rather smoothly comparatively, ironically, because now we have the hash. All we have to do is shove it in basically the password field for each one of those rows in that table. That's all we have to do. Shove it in, and then we'll check it to make sure it works, and then we'll try doing it with Magento, which will be more painful, I assure you.
So it's Python 3-m pip, and then.
Yeah, pip install, and then it should be passed in. Nick questioning my Python coding. That's fine. Did Nick write a script versus doing the interpreter?
No, I did it.
I mean, you can write it in the script. It doesn't even. You probably should write it in a script, to be honest, because if I screw up the interpreter, then everything's gone more or less. I have to get it done in a single session. But normally, because it's like 3 lines, it shouldn't be that bad. Also, you don't need to write a to file if you have a GUI, because you can just copy and paste it in. Just print it out instead. See, I think I don't have your script up here now. I think it. When did you last modify it? Do you remember?
Like last spring.
But it was before nationals, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because so this is the reason why is because I printed off my checklist from nationals versus the main one. So I don't know how that didn't get in there, but it didn't. So where are we at now? Good to go.
It's just about.
My open's not working.
From yeah, open. So I might be having the same problem.
So what did we do with cat pip?
What did we do?
Yeah.
Just authenticated with DSU.
Okay. And then I've got everything I need to download. So what do I do now?
So you haven't gotten to this stuff
When
yet?
is it?
Okay.
We're calling
It's
it
crying because it's a tuple.
Putting
It's not a tuple. It's a function call.
Yeah.
What, so you got pip installed and everything?
Yeah, where's
That is weird.
is checklist?
You open with Python 3,
Oh, you want
right?
the checklist?
Yes.
So it hasn't been helping me fully. Like we're using slightly different commands here, but what did you do general?
No, well, just wait. So Nick, you see that, right? He's calling f equals open hash.txt.
Better, right?
What's wrong in that statement? I don't see anything wrong
Did
with
you
that statement.
shadow open it somewhere by accident?
What do you mean?
Did you like assign open to something else?
I sure hope not, but I might have. Is there a way to get rid of it if I did?
I don't think so. You have to like exit and restart.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that would show.
Oh yeah, probably did because
Might be good for this
I
one.
mistyped it once and he'll probably press enter. Wait, didn't I do that though? No, I did f open. Yeah, so if you just did open equals a tuple, you're gonna have to redo it. So because now the word open is defined as a tuple and is no longer a function call. That's correct, is it not? Yep. And there's no way. Yeah, I mean you can't remove it. Yeah.
What is it supposed to be? F equals open?
Yeah, I mistyped it. It's supposed to be so it needs to be f equal open. But if you did it wrong the first time, you're gonna have to close it again.
Oh,
Make
so
your
if I did the F open.
What?
is it-
Want to make your screen bigger?
I mean, I can. I'm gonna just lose.
You can lose the top part.
I'm gonna lose stuff. Oh no, I'm still good. Okay, we'll just go all the way. You know, we don't care, right?
Oh, yeah, it's
Sounds
way
like
better.
Yeah. So okay, the lines that matter here, I can't actually show up my mouth because it disappears. Yeah, I know, it's just a lot of garbage, isn't it? From passlib.hash import PHP pass.
Well, it has a script, but
What? Oh yeah, I should just write it in the script, you're right. Oh, what happened there? Oh no, Nick, you've doomed me. What? Everything's a .txt. Do you have an issue with that? I swear I didn't have to do it like that. So the question is, how did I manage to do it without doing it that way? Okay. And that's wrong too. There we go. That's the first line. And then it's literally just, yeah, f equals open. What happened there? Oh. I already forgot which way it was, I'm gonna be honest.
it's filed in.
Yeah, why is it not the other way, Nick? Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it could be the other way.
Just literally reverse the order of those two.
I don't think it's really intuitive.
Is it not? I don't think it's intuitive either way, I'm gonna be honest.
That's what I said.
What?
That's what I said.
Oh. But it should just do it the other way just for me, right?
Write your own open.
I could rewrite my own open. I would literally just use open and then I just flip them. And then it's just going to be whatever, once again. I don't know. People are probably already past this at this point, but. So, I must be using some vi key shortcut I don't remember because. And of course, the super secret password as always. And then, I suppose you can close if you want to be nice. Everybody got that one? Just run it with Python 3 then.
Mine keeps saying that PHP pass is not defined. You imported?
Did you install it using pip?
So
You did Python 3 -m pip install. Passlib.
yeah.
And you're doing from passlib.hash or PHP docs?
So you're showing me Python or Python 3?
Python 3.
So let me check here. What did I call it? Cat hash.txt.
Okay, if I typed PHP dot pass the first time instead of hash.
For the install or?
Well, for the f dot, right?
No, just right.
No, I mean it'll written it to the file, but that's not a big deal. Just redo it. It'll just overwrite the previous one. But are you still doing the interpreter, or are you doing the file?
I'll just like, take a look. I'm not as familiar with Python, so.
Yeah. So did you import? I suppose
Yeah.
you didn't re-import in the current instance though.
I'll have to do it.
Yes, again, yeah. That's why that was the whole thing about if you do an interpreter, you have to get it right. Oh no.
That
Yep,
way.
do it. Type that much time. Now try it. Yep. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
So now it's in the file. So now you can exit out of that. Call the exit function. Or whatever's. Okay, now we're there. It makes it seem so simple, right? Okay. Let's make another script because I'm sure I'm going to mess it up at some point. Okay. See, I'm disappointed in myself for not installing Vim in all these boxes at this point because I really dislike Vi some days. I don't think I have it. Oh no, I do have it. That's right. Unless I missed. I might have to go check that again. I'm not sure if that's the correct field or not. Good thing is we have time. Do you remember off the top of your head? You want to check for me, Nick, what the field is?
Yeah. Pretty sure it's WPM pass.
Oh, it's actually, it should be up to date with the doc. It's user, I think it's user pass.
Oh, yeah.
Was it underscores or was it dashes?
Underscores.
You want to double check it's user pass? I'm pretty sure it's user pass.
Yep, user underscore pass.
And then it's not WP users, it's WP underscore user.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Okay. Wait up for another second. So, all we're doing there is we're catting the previous hash we have. We're running MySQL. The -u flag means the user we're running is root. -p means we'll be prompted for a password. And -e is basically the command we want to run. And we're just doing, we're going to update the database WordPress, the table WP users, and we're going to set the field for all occurrences of the user underscore pass to our hash. So that should go through to that particular table and set all the for every single row it's going to change the field. Understand the concept? Grasp. The real question is, does this go away when I exit Vim or not? I think it does. No, it's Vi. It shouldn't. Well, it's at the top though. It'll make a new line and it'll go away anyway. I could do that. Okay. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Is everybody with me at this point, I'm assuming? Those next steps won't work. Okay, so we've basically, assuming this went right, in my case, I've changed all the passwords to, I don't know what I do, I already, cat123? So if we go to the IO lab again, we pop up the client box. It whines to us about monitor configurations because I actually don't know. Nick, did you modify my base VM? Ubuntu, the GUI one.
No.
Odd. I don't remember it logging in before, unless I was using it recently. I don't remember.
Unless you pulled it from somewhere other than the base.
That would be odd. Okay. Okay. There we are. So you should now be able to log into the WordPress site with whatever whatever password you guys specified. And if we go back again and just double check, if you guys are getting left behind, please tell me. I'm just going to go back here quick and we're going to look and see what users are actually in that database. And really, this is the only statement that matters. So we're requesting user can't get away without mistyping it, can I? The login and the password from WordPress.wp underscore users. That's the only command you need there, sort of the one right at the end. And so, that's something nice to check is GUIs are slow. All web GUIs are slow. You don't have to manage, for just basic user accounts, most of the time you shouldn't have to manage anything. If you can do it from the GUI, you shouldn't have to do it from the GUI. I mean, like right now we can see all the users on the system without having to go to the GUI. So if we go and try to log in as Nick instead, with the same password we just did, go back to the client, wherever my client went. Oh, I closed it, didn't I? Joy. And I didn't. Okay. Actually, now I have to figure out how to log out of WordPress. Great. Nick, do you,
Not great.
is it serious? It's because, so that's the reason why, is because that does not look like a profile picture to me. Just test it with somebody else. Login works. So, that worked. All the passwords are changed for WordPress. Now we're going to try doing the same thing, but with Magento. Which, normally if it was exactly the same, I'd probably just let people go and do it, but it is unfortunately a little bit more painful. So, use Magento, doesn't really matter. But, there's a reason. So going the same thing, let's try to figure out what we're actually dealing with here. The difference is WordPress has like a solid 6 tables, which makes life easy. Magento does not. Magento wants you to be sad because it has a million freaking tables for I don't even know why. This is really ridiculous, isn't it? I swear it has about like 60 tables. I swear it probably doesn't need all these, right?
You could probably compress them.
I would think you could. I mean, like, there's so many category. you think all these should be like column names, but they're not. They're all tables. I really do wonder. But the point is, thankfully we can kind of tell here, and I wasn't actually sure the first time. It's that one right there. It's the only one that says user, admin user right there. As far as I'm aware, that's the only table related to users. The issue with Magento is it has a lot of other stuff that's like custom. I mean, it's kind of the idea of who's your actual user account, so logging into the customers, your users, your admins, whatever. As far as I'm aware, we only care about admin_user. So, go away, client. No one loves you. Same thing again we did before. We're going to show columns from admin_user. The fields we want are pretty clearly username and password. Okay. 4 user accounts. And that's our hashes. Anybody want to guess what that one is? No guesses? No guesses last time. Might even be right this time around. Salted MD5. So, do you guys understand what the concept of a salt is? Okay, no need to explain. Yes, no? Okay. It's okay, because I had to ask Nick again before this about. So basically what you're doing here, and what we see here, is we have the salt over here on the left side, as far as I'm aware, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. And on the right side, we basically have the hash of the salt concatenated with whatever the password was originally. The reason we do this, I mean, so they can't run rainbow tables against us. I don't know what the better reason is.
It's also to just increase complexity, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
to fill it into the maximum degree, so that way they have to.
So that if
It's not-
2 users have the same password, they don't.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So no, that's correct. So if 2 users have the same password, we can't just use that to break it. Yeah, no, I mean, you still have to run through the same thing. Basically, you can't immediately take a hash and compare it to another hash of the same password type. Because they're salted randomly, the only way you're going to figure out what that password is again is you have to take the salt defined there, and you have to basically use that again with a dictionary tag or brute force or whatever, and just start running through combinations until the hash is matching it. Which means if we're generating random salts, that's what you have to do every single time. There's no simple way for if you break it once and then the hash is stored in the database somewhere. We can't use any of those cool attacks where we just have a giant database of all the hashes and we can do like a reverse lookup of your hash anymore. So that's why we have the salts. The issue is, as you can, it makes it more annoying because now we have to deal with the salt in addition. So first, let's generate a quick salt to use. Ironically, we're going to like completely defeat the point of a salt because we're going to use the same salt for every single user account. Because it's you can script it. Feel free to script it. It's probably not too bad to generate a new salt and hash it for each user account. I don't want to do that today. So we're just going to generate one salt and then just use one salt for everything, just so it fits the format, so we can change all the passwords quick. So.
It would be kind of hard to actually do that, though.
What?
It would be kind of hard to actually do that.
Once you just have to rehash each time. That's all, right?
You have to key on whatever user ID you want.
Ooh, you're right. Because so the MySQL, so do like getting the set isn't bad. It'd be the MySQL. No, you can use limit. Limit 1, limit 2, limit. Yeah, you can do that. It'll give you ranges. It'll jack up the whole entire database if anybody.
When you're doing the update, though.
Hmm? Yeah, they should still be returned in the same order every time. So you're just going to use limit to return the first user, then use limit to return.
Well, if you're doing that, you just dump the user list, make a bunch of hashes, then.
You could do that too, yeah.
That's bad.
Well, yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean that'd be just as bad. I mean, I liked my idea better, Nick, of course, but you know. So, okay, so let's get out MySQL quick and let's generate a salt and a hash. Okay, so you guys remember that whole command we typed in earlier? Let's do it again. Oh, at the very start. Forgot we have to do.
Sorry, I wish I could see.
It's okay.
Thanks.
Okay, Nick's gonna yell at me if I do it wrong.
You are doing it
What?
wrong. And you are doing it wrong.
I am doing it wrong? What? Oh, I forgot my flags.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And the quotation marks.
Gosh dang it, you people.
Did you mistype that?
Yeah, I did, which I'll fix here in a second. I was gonna fix that, but everyone was worried about TR so much. That is the crappiest. There has to be a better command than that. There probably is. I want 32 random characters. Is that so hard? Oh, I should probably name it something better. Here, name it salt.txt. Because everything has to have a txt extension. There we go. So if we cat salt.txt. Yay, random garbage. Yay, that's all people with encryption want is random garbage. Okay, so that's our salt. Let's do the same thing again. We're gonna echo-n means no new line. Set a super secret password. We're gonna pipe it to, so there's probably a Python module to do it as well. If you want to do it with Python, I don't feel the need. Plus, I don't think MD5 is in passlib for doing. I don't know if you can do it with salt in passlib. You probably can.
You do it with hash.
With hashlib.
Hashlib.
Did you just tell me to use the other library?
Yes. MD5 is not password hash no. It's just a regular.
Tell Magento that. Tell Magento.
Well, this is like what,
Yeah,
2005?
I know it's old as crap Magento, but that's the idea. So we're gonna pipe it to MD5 Sun. Cut. Don't mistype it. There is a space in between those. Just type it once. Okay, that looks goodish. And we're gonna overwrite the other file or do whatever you want. I just put it back in hash.txt. So now we have out. Oh, this is worthless. I just remembered that's worthless.
You didn't put
Do you understand why it's worthless, Nick?
you didn't put the salt in.
I didn't put the salt in it. That's pretty worthless.
Is that a dash F1 or
Dash
Yeah.
F space.
It's not in the current aspect. If I export it, it should be though.
You want to explain cut?
Oh, that one? No, I don't want to explain it. We're cutting at the very end. There's a space and a dash. Cut does string manipulation. We're just removing that.
Show you the immediate steps. So exactly the MD5 seconds.
Yeah, I can do. That's all we're doing. There is the annoying space and a dash there. All that command does is deletes. Does that actually delete everything after a space, or does it delete one character after the space?
It does look like a split, and then grabs the first.
Okay, that makes sense. So as said, we're splitting it off the space and we're deleting. We're taking the first one. We're doing it's just gets dumped. Okay, so going back to this again, I actually have to do. Let me double check. Oh, is it seriously the other way? No, it's salt. It's salt pass, right? Okay, well I have to do, never mind, I missed a step. And that's because I have to export. That's a crappy way of doing it, but let's do it anyway. What, you don't like that?
No, I was just looking at the script. It's funny that they encrypt it salt pass, and then they hash it salt pass, and then they put it in the database as hash, and then salt.
Okay. That should work, right, Nick?
You don't need to export.
What does export do then? Off the top of my head, I don't really remember.
Makes it like global all your stuff.
You, one sec here. Let's just double check to make sure this is a valid environmental variable. Okay, it is. We're good. We're good again. Normally, once again, you do this in the script. We are disregarding conventional wisdom right now. And that should work. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
A couple points in there.
No, will that work either? I don't know if that will work.
Yeah, that'll work.
That should work, but okay. There we go. So that's that, and then actually, you know, do we want to do it? No, we don't want to do it with more lines. Okay, so that's that. Okay, there we go. So that should be, that's the right half now. That's the right half after the colon. Is that right there. So now we have to combine them, which, actually here, I'm probably going to do this in a way Nick's not going to approve of again. It should be salt first. Let me just see there. Oh. Oh yeah, I got to cat it. Go figure. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks good to you, Nick?
Don't need the colon.
I put a colon there in the second one.
I didn't colon.
That looks a little bit too long. That might be right. Compare those two. That to that. Looks about right. So, if we screw this up, we're going to go wipe all our passwords now is what we're going to do. So. Let's just put this back in hash.txt because, oh, that's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Let's rename it hash2.txt. Okay, so we have that now, and you know what, let's just do it. No, let's do it. Let's do it with a script. Actually, let's just edit the other script for Pete's sake. Do I even need to? Here, I don't if I do this. Still gonna have to edit it, but you know, save me a minute. So I'm just basically it boils down to get it back in hash.txt, however you have to do that. And we just have to change a couple of lines again. So instead of WordPress, it's going to be Magento again. It's admin_users. And it's not user pass either. It was password in that one, actually. Another thing people can't seem to get, just be consistent. Wouldn't kill you. Looks good to me. Looks good to you, Nick. Yeah, so let's run that. What did I even... Okay, I was editing the script too. Okay. It's off. It's the database again. Nick lied to me. What?
I didn't look at
You didn't look at the tables?
admin_user.
Yeah. I guessed that one. Okay. That ran. Now the moment of truth. Did we jack everything up? Nick, did we jack everything up?
I didn't do this one.
Thanks, Nick. Really holding with me on this one. I don't remember.
/admin.
Why that's the stupidest way of doing it ever. I hate that so much. It's not index, it's index.php. And then
OwnCloud does that too.
what?
OwnCloud does that too.
Does it seriously? I don't remember that. Well, no, it does. Like, okay, maybe the recent versions do something a little bit different. Okay, that's not a good sign. I'm gonna tell you now. Okay, Joy, tell me if anybody else's works. So the real question is, where did we jack up?
Open the script file.
Yeah.
It should be hash.txt. It should be, or it should be.
It depends where you put it. If
No, we put hash 2.
I moved hash 2 to hash 1, just for our convenience. It should be the same hash.
I'm sure your hash generation, right?
Could be wrong, for sure. Let's go back through that quick here. If I remember what I typed. So that's combining. That's what it was. So we have a salt. The salt shouldn't matter what the salt is. But that's what we get for that. And that generates that. Let's try echoing. Okay, so I mean, we are piping the correct stream to MD5 sum. I think it's more likely there was some assumptions made about ordering, about salt, about where we're appending the salt. I don't know if you ever. Oh, it's the other way around. So for the for generating the password, it's salt and hash.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was like.
Okay, so we got half that right. So basically, we generated the hash correctly. It's flipped. It goes hash first, then it goes salt for the actual file. Thanks, Magento. This whole thing is just ridiculous. So the real reason this is problematic is because all your services are down at this point for the last 10 minutes. Okay. So actually, let's regenerate that one. I personally have to regenerate it. If you put it in a different file, you're good. I'm gonna put it in hash2.txt to make even more confusion occur. So, yeah, that's good. And then I have to recombine them in the opposite order. And ideally, I was right. Okay, so we're gonna put that back in hash. And instead of cat, we need to flip these. This needs to be salt.txt. That needs to be hash.txt. Okay. And I have to, spell hash right somehow. Okay. So ideally, oh god, no. Okay. I did that one right, you can tell. No, my bad. For me, it's hash 2. This whole entire thing is getting a little ridiculous at this point. There we go. Okay. That appears to be flipped. I really don't know if it... Yeah, it's flipped. Okay. So we're there again. Whatever. Let's run script 2 again. If it doesn't work this time, I'm pretty much out of ideas. This is when you go to a different box and forget the other one even happened. Okay, so did that again. Let's jet back over to client, which won't pop up now. Thank you, Windows. Okay. What?
Works for me.
Mine's spinning.
Oh, that's the G.
Oh, it says dashboard at the top. Woo, we managed it. So the only reason okay, so basically, first of all, this is rather low priority in general. But the only reason you're going to do it this way is if you literally have 300 user accounts. If you have 10 user accounts, change it to the GUI. If you have 5 user accounts, change it to the GUI. If you have 15, change it to the GUI. I would still say change it to the GUI. I don't know what Nick would say at that point.
Yeah, I think just with web apps in general, it's better to just triage and change admin passwords.
Yeah.
And just don't bother with it.
And that's the statement. I would still get into the database and look around. You're going to have to do that regardless. One of the reasons you're going to be looking around the database anyway is because you want to find PII first and identify where that's going to be at, because if red team finds it before you find it, you might be in trouble because now they're going to get points for that. But I suppose you don't necessarily need to find it if you just have everything super secured, but not a bad idea to figure out where PII is at and then make sure that system that it's on is secure. That was pretty much, I think at this point, 7:05, all I'm going to cover on this session. If you have specific MySQL questions, I will feel free to, or specific stuff you want to go over again, whether just going through and changing passwords and host or whatever.
How do we change a password to one specific user inside the shop?
For web application or for the database itself?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to go back through here quick again. Let's see here. There we go. That's the one I care about. Okay. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Those are our user counts, right? We know those are our user counts. We have an admin, we have a Greg, we have a Nick, and a Dave. So if we wanted to do the same thing again with web application passwords, but we just want to change it for Dave, then let's just edit, modify script. Do.txt. That makes me sad, Nick.
Every time.
Every time. And we just have to insert right here.
Oh, where? Okay.
Yep. And it's going to need to be it's going to need to be single quotes. Ah, gosh dang it. I don't know how I perform so poorly with Vim comparatively. That should work. That's all you should need to do. Run that again. It should run for just the Dave user count. It will, of course, change its password again to cat123, which is what the same password, so we won't see a difference unless you were to modify it and regenerate. For the database itself, which in general, if you're talking about next mock, gosh dang it, client, just die. You know what, Nick, you should find a way to fix that, because I already looked in the code and it's all jQuery. Well, it's not all jQuery. It's jQuery and JavaScript and abominations. It's not a good place to be. So just as a refresher, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. You have user. Eventually, you do start to memorize some of these. Gosh dang it. You know, from might be a good idea. Okay. So those are our user counts. We have root and deb/sysmaintainer. So this is where we lock ourselves out of the application, by the way. Newer syntax. You have. Do I actually have one right here? I do. MySQL checklist, by the way, but it's really kind of an obnoxious command. I'm completely certain that this is not the correct way to do it, by the way. But it's a little bit more backwards compatible than the other method. Also, as said, this is on the SQL checklist.
There's a password function inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically the difference there. Is it going to yell at me?
It's
No.
a pretty crappy hash.
I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter, does it now? How are they going to get the hash? They have access to MySQL. We're done. We're done. But that's all it is. So if you're going to use update command, you're updating the MySQL database, the user table, you set password equals 0, and then the password function, which is their input password function, whatever the password is, where user equals root. Obviously, you can do it based on, for example, if you remove root, you can change all the user counts. It's normal SQL queries. That's how you change the password. The just as important one for, like, this is basically the two things you have to do during the mock is change the password for specific user counts. Well, there's three. This is one of the three. And then you'd go to update MySQL, and you're going to set the host instead to whatever needs to be set to. Once again, this is how I break everything. Yeah, just like that. And I'm always happy that my connection was not closed because I'm logged into root right now. That's basically what you're going to do. If you're just modifying existing user accounts, you change that, you change the host, and then you do grants, which is going to be... I'm not doing this one.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not doing this one. That one actually will take effect immediately, and I will be done. You need to revoke all the grants and then give all the grants back for the specific database.
So if you revoked it for root, which
You're screwed.
break everything, can't get those back.
What? You
get
can't.
them all back. In these?
Were you at the thing of Tuesday?
Yeah.
You go in and do the skip grant thing to get back into the database.
Oh yeah.
I think it's on the checklist. As a note, even if you do that, stuff is really weird. I don't know if I was actually... So if you do skip grant, I think you might have to modify the priv tables, the privilege tables manually. I don't think I was able to do it using the grant all command. I think I had to go in and insert or update the rows and then... I don't know if I don't think I actually... Maybe I didn't actually do it. I think you might have to. You may. You may have to go in there and do update and then grant. Basically go in and grant the user accounts all the privileges again. I'll show you quick what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's going to be show columns from MySQL.user. Yeah, it's all those prints. That might be problematic because good luck writing out the SQL statement that's like update where, you know, not a good day. Hopefully you can just do grants. I don't think I was able to do that last time, Nick. I think the last time I locked myself out of my SQL database, I had to do it manually. Or I would have had to do it manually. I didn't do it. Well, the only good thing is there's probably a couple privileges in there you actually need because then you can modify the privilege tables the regular way again and then just do it back. So you just need to identify which privilege is in there. Oh, it's probably that one right there. This one right here, grant grid. You probably can change that one to yes, and then go back in and change all the other grants again because now you have permission to modify grant tables again. Just don't do it. Don't jack with root's permissions. Leave root the way he is. Create new database user accounts and then add those in. Root should always have all permissions, but root should never be used for any of the databases ever. He might be if you're giving a mock competition environment. Root might be connected to 4 databases. Create new user accounts. Revoke all the privilege. You won't actually have to. You won't have to revoke because they're privilegeless when they're created. So create a new user account. Give them all privileges on that particular database, and then make their host only allowed from that system, and you're pretty okay. This is where it requires coordination, as previously mentioned last night, which will be the last thing I'll do here quick. This is the having a team part is the hard part. So while you're doing this, while you're trying to modify passwords, the guy who has the web application on his system has to go to the web applications directory and edit, and it's gonna vary. It's not always gonna be the same. So this is for WordPress, but they might have different web applications that are not WordPress. Right? But it doesn't look like it's at the top.
It's WP_.
Oh, I opened the wrong page. What is it you said? It's log? No, it's... I always can't... I have no idea what you're saying. See, he mutters it and then complains when I don't hear it properly, right? Just blame Nick? Yeah, it's config. What? I'm probably hard for hearing at this point? Yeah, no, I would have gotten it eventually. I only had like 20 choices in that directory on that one. Yeah, so they're going to have to go in here and modify the parameters. The database should probably stay as WordPress. They need to change the username, they need to change the password, they don't need to change the host probably. So it should be decent. It's also a good idea. I kind of previously mentioned that usually the database person can figure out which databases are on your system. The web application guy should also be figuring out at the same time which database I'm connected to. For the last competition, we had 2 web servers and 2 databases, but both those databases are local. In future competitions, you're probably going to expect centralized databases. So like one database has like 3 web applications on it or something, which may or may not be stored. And nationals, MySQL wasn't stored, but it was, or regionals, MySQL was not stored. No, it was not. There's no way it was. So at regionals, MySQL was not scored, MS SQL was not scored, so our databases weren't scored. They each had the MySQL had 5 web applications attached to it, and the MS SQL had at least 2.
I think there's only 4 on the MySQL.
I think I was counting the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it is.
4 or 5, but that's the point though. So it's not scored, but it's a high value target because if that database goes down, you just lost 4 web applications which are scored. So that's equivalent to 4 services.
Protect your infrastructure.
Yeah, but there's cooperation there that has to go on where if you have changed the database and then the person has to change on the web application side as well. Because if you guys do it in a weird timing, well, now you're losing points, is what it boils down to. Because if you change it on your side, but they don't change it on their side, you're losing points. If they change it on their side, but you're not changing it on your side, you're losing points. Because the connection is broken. You shouldn't have to update this to the scoring engine because this is the backend connection. If you change web application passwords, you will have to update the scoring engine, of course. So, just for different stuff. That's all I have for today, which I think is fair. Unless, Nick, you want me to go for another hour and a half?
So right now, both the web servers will be done since you didn't change the passwords inside the config files?
No. So we're doing web application passwords. I didn't actually go in there and change. Oh, never mind. You're right. I changed root password. Yeah, they're both down. In this case, yes, because they were both connected to root.
So in the mock, would we be able to tell what user, or if we create a new user to connect, or would still be using root?
It's whatever that config file says.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so they on the web application side have to change it to use your new user account and the new password.
Okay.
Not too much else there. It is important, however, that you do. If you create a fresh user, you just need to grant them all privileges on the database. If you don't do that, they won't be able to actually, I don't think, do anything at all. I don't know what a base user can do. I don't think they can really do anything at all. If you give them too much permissions, like if you did normally to grant permissions, we do the name of the database .wildcard. So that means we're granting them all table permissions. If you do wildcard.wildcard, now they can go in and modify any thing, including, as far as I'm aware, MySQL.user, they can modify that table as well. And, well, first of all, they can basically just destroy everything. You can just dump everything. Or they can go in and make themselves new user accounts, modify roots, passwords, bring down your services, and still maintain access if they so choose. That's why be careful about perms because, yeah, you lose one database like that, you're screwed. But that's the idea. Because, I mean, it's not hard for them to get one web application password because if they have root on the system, they can go look in that file. Or people get PHP admin a lot too. That has the database configuration stuff. That would suck early as well. The only good thing about MySQL is there's not really a way for them to get persistence off MySQL. Unless Nick knows some magical ways.
I haven't looked into it a lot, but there's like you can like set up triggers so that you can like run a script every time there's like an update or delete or something like that in the database.
Nick, are you sure this is the right team?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it at all.
Should I even try to stop Cody's capture?
No.
Just press stop straight?
Yeah, you just.
Yeah.
But yeah.